two big stories yesterday that the media is talking about. One is the judge, Neil Gorsuch, Trump's appointment to the Supreme Court, made a remark about Trump's remarks about judges because Trump's travel pause went before the Ninth Circuit. Trump felt the Ninth Circuit was being ridiculous. He went in front of law enforcement officers and he read the statute, which gives him almost unlimited power to ban travel if he thinks there's danger. And so play the Trump cut. This is Trump saying, like, how can they not understand this?
When you read something so perfectly written and so clear to anybody, and then you have lawyers, and I watched last night in amazement, and I heard things that I couldn't believe. Things that really had nothing to do with what I just read. And I don't ever want to call a court biased, so I won't call it biased. And we haven't had a decision yet. But courts seem to be so political, and it would be so great for our justice system if they would be able to read a statement and do what's right.
So he doesn't want to call them biased, but I'm not calling them biased, but he's calling them biased, right? You know, yesterday I was talking to a guy, he's kind of famous, he's on CNN, and he said, you know, I was talking about the way Trump plays with the truth, the way he just kind of overstates things and all this. And this guy said, you know, people know the difference between a BS artist and a liar. A liar says if you want to keep your health plan, you can keep your health plan, and then you can't. That's lying. A BS artist blows things up a little bit. You know, he says this is going to be the best thing that ever happened. This is going to be, and he said Trump is a BS artist because he does what he says he's going to do. So he's not a liar, but he does BS a lot. You know, and this is what's throwing the press off. And one of the things that what he said, there was a lot of truth to it. When people stood up, you know, Byron York wrote about the arguments before the Ninth Circuit. He said one of the things that was so amazing was that both sides seemed to know nothing about some of the most basic real-world issues surrounding the case. He says the judge on the U.S. District Court who stopped the order believed that none of these countries that Trump has banned refugees from have had any effect, none of the people from those countries have committed terrorist attacks. And Robart asked a Justice Department lawyer, how many arrests have there been of foreign nationals from those 7 countries since 9/11? And the lawyer said he didn't know. Robart said, let me tell you, the answer to that is none, as best as I can tell. And what he was getting information from CNN. But the fact is, that's not true. Okay, they have committed acts of terror, and they have been arrested, and people have been, you know, these are some of the guys who were on the law enforcement's radar.